groceries. And all afternoon in the rocking chair right next to him was my great-grandmother, Mamie. She'd have her hands in her lap, and she'd rock back and forth and look over at him while he talked, and she'd shake her head and roll her eyes. And she would laugh at the same jokes that she'd heard him tell 1 billion times before. In the middle of a story, he'd look over, pat her on the knee, wink at her, jump right back in and never miss a beat. And as years went by, we started to notice that Mamie was having trouble remembering things like recipes that used to come from her heart, the names of the neighbors that lived right next door. So my great-grandfather's job became to just be with Mamie, constantly. Make sure she didn't forget something important, like unplugging an iron or shutting off the stove, but she got worse. And pretty soon she was more than he could handle all by himself. He was too old, so they had to move out of their house and into a nursing home. And I remember the time that we went to visit the nursing home, dinner time. Great-Grandpa Frank sat across the table from Mamie. His plate sat over to the side, got cold, while he took one spoonful at a time from her plate, fed it to her. Then he'd smile at her, he'd wink, take a napkin, wipe her chin. Mamie couldn't use the toilet by herself. So every time she had to go, he'd take her in and help her with all of those responsibilities, every single time. And during all of those years when he was doing that, we never heard him complain. He never once snapped and said, you know what, I'm an old man, and I've had a long, tough life too, and now I can't even blink with Mamie around, because if I do, she may wander off or she'll fall and hurt herself, and I have to feed her, I have to bathe her, I have to take her to the toilet. He never complained. And there was a day that my brother and I went to visit a nursing home. Great-Grandpa Frank sat in his big overstuffed chair. He looked up at the two of us and said, you know, boys, and there was a tear right here. He said, Mamie doesn't know who I am anymore. And that was the first complaint that I ever heard him speak about his little bride. It didn't seem to bother him to be with her constantly. It didn't bother him to have to feed her and bathe her and take her to the restroom. What broke his heart was when all of those times, whoa, the two of them were married for 70 years, 70 anniversaries with the same person. And I'm positive that after all of those decades, she was not the same girl that he married. She didn't look the same. They didn't do the things they used to do when they were young and strong. She couldn't even remember who he was. But there's no doubt that my grandfather was still crazy in love with her. Because love is not what you feel. Love is what you do.
What a touching way to end. Rather lighthearted, but big picture look at marriage on today's Focus on the Family as we've been listening to John Branyan. Wow, that last line, I love it. He said, love is not what you feel, love is what you do. And in fact, the Bible puts it this way: love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. And that's out of 1 Corinthians 13, 7 and 8. And what a wonderful example Great-Grandpa Frank is to all of us. To love his wife, to care for her, even when she couldn't recognize his face anymore. And that's true love. I want to thank John Branyan for sharing his family stories with us. And I'm sure many of you have a friend or family member who could use a dose of encouragement for their marriage. So we'd like to offer the CD of today's message to you for a donation of any amount. I know there are people in my life that I want to put this in the hands of to bring that joy and also to bring that perspective. So get in touch with us today. Our number is 800-232-6459. 800, letter A in the word family. Or you can make a donation and get the CD or MP3 download at focusonthefamily.com/radio. Our program today was provided by Focus on the Family. And on behalf of Jim Daly and the entire team, thanks for listening. I'm John Fuller, inviting you back next time as we once again help you and your family thrive. When business owners need a trusted and carefully planned benefits package,